Welcome to Chapter 4. Chapter 4 gives you, as the name implies, a kind of a broad overview of how the advertising industry is built, or how it's constructed, or what are the mechanics and kind of the basic elements of the advertising industry. And this is important because then you understand sort of the dynamics involved that are apart from marketing in a sense. So marketers or organizations may have their own marketing department, but they may use for example, an advertising agency of some sort, and then that advertising agency will, in conjunction with the client, being the company that's marketing the product, will contact media, because media is separate from the ad agency. Now, this is not to say, so please understand that some companies don't act as their own ad agency where they buy the time, create the ads, and so on and so forth. So they call that working in-house. But just like anything, you can outsource activities, business processes. Advertising is no different. And there are tons of advertising agencies around the country. Almost every city of decent size has one, and they might call it a marketing company as well. But anyway, let's just take a look at a few things and see how they're constructed. So today, we've got marketers. Marketers are advertisers, okay? But they, that is the organization who owns the product, and the product might be a service that needs to be promoted, or we need to communicate with the market. Agencies then, like ad agencies, or could be called marketing agencies or marketing companies, are the ones that they're specialists in their field in that sense. Sometimes they specialize in a certain industry, in fact. Then there's suppliers, which may include artistic people, although agencies might have a lot of this in-house. But outside photographers or videographers, software developers, or meaning it could be media, editing, production, creation, talent, and then the media is how it's going to be transmitted. How am I going to connect to the media habits of my target market? Okay, so usually employed by advertisers and not clients, people in advertising. This is not a hard line difference, but probably there are more independent people that, other than for very large organizations where they're separate. Like I said, you can't. For example, I work for a company that did a lot of their own. I bought media, okay, or bought ad space. Sometimes there's different jobs in this media buyers and things like that. And like it says here, researchers, artists, writers, salespeople, managers, video, digital, all those things. There's no hard definition that one can work in one area and not the other, as far as whether it's employed by the client or the marketer or the ad agency or the media. There's a lot of crossover. Okay, I'm not trying to confuse you. I'm just trying to give you the lay of the land a little bit here. Most consumer sales are made or lost locally, and this is true. So think about all the local businesses and the local buys. And buys, when I say that, I mean in media. So radio, print, TV, local social media, and things like that. Think of the connections to the target market. That's the best way, and where it originates from. Now, this might be a national brand, okay, so the reach would be much broader, but there's a lot of activity locally too. And all you're going to do is drive up and down the streets or go to a mall and see all the different places out there that need to connect to the target market in some shape, manner, or form. Here's a structure, an org chart or organizational chart for a small advertisers with high volumes of work. This is kind of pretty typical, and how this might be done. So you've got creative, you got the media people, you've got marketing services, and there's specialties or specialists in all of these. It's not unlike other areas of business where you've got accountants or financial people or production people, or it's just different talents attract different kinds of people to do different jobs, but they all are very valuable. So we've got product advertising, institutional advertising, and classified advertising. So product is just that. it's products. And products can be, and I'll repeat this a bunch of times so you get it, services. A service is a product as much as a physical good is a product. Institutional ads, that might be where we would advertise a company or a university, for example. That's institutional advertising, where we just talk about, as the name implies, and then classified ads, which would be tied to media and where and how they're going to be placed. So there's an example of product, and there's really good examples in the book. So as you read this, again, this is no substitute for reading the text. You're going to have to do that if you're going to be successful. So carefully read the chapter and then do the assignments. Okay, so this is like steps 1, 2, 3, steps 1, 2, 3. If you do that, your chances of success are going to go way up. But I also advise you don't get behind, because I'm not going to take late work. So we got to stay on top of things. Okay, and IMC, again, depending on the media, whether it's radio, print, TV, social, digital, or otherwise, we want to tell a consistent message. So you can't really pull the message apart from the media, because there's attributes or characteristics of certain media that lend itself to communicating the value of a product very well. For example, TV or video or social media, YouTube and things like that, where you can demonstrate a product that way. But print and radio have powers as well. So, but the message, no matter what media you use, should be consistent with that brand and that image you want to project. So regional, national, that should be pretty straightforward. Here's some 10 biggest brands and how much money they spend total in ad revenue. Yeah, these are all names you should probably you probably recognize. Some you may not, but most of them you do. National and local advertisers. Well, national is just that it's the reach you're looking for. How big of an area are you going to cover? Okay, local is just that. You don't have to. If you're just selling in Sioux Falls, we'll say, or in Minneapolis, and your trade area, you can't distribute beyond that. There's no sense of advertising other places. So this is not real mysterious. These aren't mysterious ideas. They're pretty straightforward. Local focus uses local cues to transmit or to make the message understandable. Okay, so as you read, so I'm not going to go through every little detail. As I said before, we're about halfway through the chapter now, but this should give you a good idea as far as how things work, the structure, how things are managed, who manages them, kind of the different definitions of activities or job responsibilities. And you might find a place for yourself in here. You never know. So this will cover us for chapter 4, week number 1. Hang in there, keep going. I mean, the pace is going to be about this pace all the time, if not a little faster. So make sure you take advantage of the time you've got and use it wisely. Take care. If you have questions, please let me know.